It's funny, pressure, you can feel pressure all sorts of places. Like, not, you may seem like the stakes are higher, therefore pressure is more, but, I played a full season of Latin and then Americas as well. And honestly, I think I felt just as much pressure battling a cut line there that I did any of these first 2-3 stages. First stage went well. Second stage was a little more of a grind. I know it's just, the more I play, the more it's just hitting the next shot. That's all I can come back to.
I've always been a little bit of a fighter. Just tried to kind of get the most out of everything I can. So just excited for the opportunity. I'm blessed to be here. I'm grateful to kind of be in the position I am. So just take it one shot at a time tomorrow. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot of good golf, so I got to bring it too and go out and try to win it.
Essentially, I'm playing against myself. If I do my own job and stay to my process, and it'll take care of itself. If it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen, and I'm going to do everything in my power to stay focused and see how it puts me at the end of the day.
And they all seem to be thinking the right way. We'll see if they can put it into practice tomorrow. We now welcome Brentley Romine from the Q-School. Winds are whipping out there in Ponte Vedra Beach. Brentley, what is your lead story on this Saturday night?
Well, Rich, I think it's one of the co-leaders, and that's Matthew Riedel, whose star continues to rise. And I want to go back to a mantra he shared with me yesterday, and that water always seems to find its level. And I think earlier in his golf career, going back to his prep days, it was kind of a low watermark for him, and that caused him to be a little overshadowed, whether it was around the Houston area by guys such as Cole Hammer or Travis Vick, and then into his college career at Vanderbilt with Gordon Sargent and Cole Sherwood, also on those great Commodore teams. He played just 4 events his third year with the Doors, but 2-time All-American to close his college career as that water level has seemingly rose. He was top 5 in PGA Tour University this past year, top 3 in combined points this summer between the Tour and KFT to lock up full KFT status for next year. And that's a dangerous tool to have that in his back pocket where he can sort of freewheel it along with the other co-leader, Alistair Doherty. I like to call Matthew Riedel, Rich, the silent assassin. And I talked to his college coach, Scott Limbaugh, a couple days ago, and I asked, with all the success that he seemed to have recently, does he still stack those chips on his shoulder? And he said, you betcha, buddy. That's exactly how he likes it.
So that would not be Jim Morrison and the Doors. That's Gordon Sargent and the Doors. So you mentioned that Riedel was somewhat overlooked during his career. Same can be said for Grant Hirschman, who had a famous roommate. Where are you going with this one?
Well, I don't think there's a bio that you could read or a story that you could read about Grant Hirschman without it also mentioning that he was roommates for a couple years right out of college with the current world #1 Scotty Scheffler, also a few other pros and future PGA Tour standouts in that house as well. But as Hirschman was talking today, he's the only one in the house that has spent the last 6 years on the Korn Ferry Tour without making it to the PGA Tour. I think arguably this season was his worst on the KFT. He missed 10 of 15 cuts and had to go back to first stage of PGA Tour Q-School for the 2nd straight year. He called it a humbling experience. But I asked him, does it get discouraging seeing guys like Scotty Scheffler seemingly ascend the ranks in college or in professional golf while he's seemingly stuck in neutral and everyone's still talking about his college days?
I wouldn't say discouraging. I would definitely say motivating. A lot of times I feel like whenever there's bios written about me, it mentions my college stats or my 3-time All-American or whatever it may be. It's not really what I've done lately as a pro golfer. So I kind of want that to change a little bit and rewrite my story.
Does that piss you off a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, case in point, Rich, after he finished his round today, he was interviewed on the live broadcast. And there was a quick question about his round today. He started out with a couple birdies, really played some of the best golf that he's played in quite a while. But the rest of that interview was all about Scotty Scheffler. He was asked to share his best story, and he talked about the days playing board games during COVID where he used to beat Scotty in all sorts of games, and Scotty would get mad. He would, break the board over his leg, he would throw the board, and just a competitive guy. And that's when he realized that Scotty Scheffler was a sore loser. But you could tell, Rich, that he's tired of telling those stories, and he wants to get to a point where it's Scottie Scheffler telling stories about him, and the only way that he can make that happen is tomorrow to go out there and get a PGA Tour card of his own and start beating Scottie Scheffler on the golf course.
Big Sunday for Grant Hirschman and so many others in Northeast Florida. Brentley Romine, thank you. We will see if any of the players at Q-School who make it through will be rookies. Here are the candidates for 2024 PGA Tour Rookie of the Year. So Nick Dunlap, probably the favorite here. 2 wins, 1 as an amateur, but there's a solid case, I think, for Matthew Pavone. He won the Farmers and finished 5th at the U.S. Open at Pinehurst. Grayson and Knapp, good rookie campaigns.